Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here. Two key late game Oscar players, 1917 and Little Women. Both the embargoes lifted on the same day, and these films both matched and exceeded expectations. I'm going to tell you where they stand in my predictions. Start off with Little Women. I saw very good reactions to this film, and I was thinking maybe film Twitter is going a little crazy here because it's Greta Gerwig and she's like the film Twitter person, but it is a 90 on Metacritic, folks. A 90. Insane. Probably a Best Picture lock. They're saying that Greta Gerwig does a great job of updating and making it feel relevant and new and fresh, which is exactly what you want to hear from a story that's been told dozens of times. Alexander Desplat's score is, I think, maybe a lock here. Of course, it's getting costume design. Production design is very likely, but, who knows if it might be a sort of Phantom Thread or Carol deal where it gets costumes, not production design. I wouldn't call it a lock yet, but it could become one. Best editing, I don't think, is like one of the strong suits for this film. Cinematography as well is probably not going to happen, but there are plenty of above-the-line categories for this film. Best adapted screenplay. It is in there, folks. I think it sits pretty comfortably around number 4 on my list at the moment. And then you have Florence Pugh, the MVP of the film. People say she is maybe the best performance in the cast. That makes her, I think, a supporting actress lock. She might have to overcome having this newcomer status, but I think that she's gonna get in. Saoirse Ronan, lead actress, is very, very likely. I'm not gonna say that she's a total lock, because she could get ridiculously snubbed, maybe because she's like Saoirse Ronan, and of course she's great. If some shit happens in the actress race, like maybe she goes bye-bye. But I don't think so, folks. I think that Saoirse Ronan is probably going to be really in there, and she's going to get all those nominations that she needs. Sorry, folks. Emma Watson, Timothée Chalamet, and Meryl Streep are not getting nominated for this film. It's just Florence Pugh and Saoirse Ronan. Best Picture, of course, it is definitely on my top 10. I mean, with these reviews, how could it get snubbed at this point? I don't see that happening. In director, these reviews have changed my opinion on this the most. Because I didn't know if Gerwig was going to get director. You got Tarantino, Waititi. You got a lot of big contenders here. With these reviews, I think she's taking out Tarantino, folks. I think you got Scorsese, Sam Mendes, Bong Joon-ho, and Noah Baumbach. That fifth slot, I don't know if Tarantino's that strong. I think Gerwig might be stronger than Tarantino, folks. She might just be in there this year. I mean, with a 90 on Metacritic, how can you say no to Gerwig getting in the director category? I think if Little Women has a shot at winning anything, it's going to be costumes. Great things happening for Little Women, and great things are also happening with 1917, the one-take war film itself, the technical achievement of the year. I mean, we got Deakins doing a one-take war movie, and we all said, oh my god, this is going to be an incredible looking movie, and it is that, and then some. People think that this cinematography is one of the greatest cinematography achievements of the decade. Roger Deakins' one-taker, it is a dream come true. People say it's an absolutely incredible looking movie. This is winning cinematography. You know it. I know it. Nobody will deny it. We don't need to wait for any nominations. We don't need to wait for any awards to be given out. We know that 1917 is going to sweep all cinematography awards. That is not the only award that this movie is winning. Score. Thomas Newman. 14 nominations deep, this man. And he's going for 15. We said, I think Thomas Newman could get an Oscar for this movie finally. And the reviews are like, holy shit, Thomas Newman. You have made one of the crowning achievements of your career. And so that tells me, obviously, this is winning score. Because there's not really that much competition. Not really many films I can see winning. He's going to get his Oscar. We're all going to be very happy when that happens. It's also probably winning sound editing and sound mixing. Ford vs. Ferrari is like number 2 in both those categories, but you're going to be walking through the set and there's going to be sound, and it's going to be here, and then it's going to go boo 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 boo, and it's going to be behind your head now, and the Dolby experience and all that. It's going to be insane. Definitely the movie to beat in those 2 categories, and that is 4 Oscars, folks. 4 Oscars. This could be the biggest or second biggest winner of the night, but we're not even done, are we? We're not even done. Production design. If they don't want to give it to Cats or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or whatever, this could win production design. Dennis Gassner is being mentioned alongside these incredible technical achievements of the sound, the cinematography, the score, and the production design. He has been nominated 6 times, and he won for Bugsy in 1992, has not won since. It has been long enough that we can award this man again. They've built massive, massive set pieces for the camera to travel along and track the characters for minutes on end. I think that might be the new frontrunner for me. It is 1917 in production design. For some reason, Best Editing is getting very hyped. It received an editing nomination at the Hollywood Film Critics nominations, and I expect that some places will nominate it. I think that it could have a very similar trajectory to Birdman. Both one-take movies that actually did incorporate cuts, but, very subtly. And at the point of the nominations, Birdman was number 2. Expected to be really in there for that editing nomination, and the Oscars said, sorry, you don't have any cuts, you don't have editing, what are we doing? So that could happen in 1917. I think it's gonna be in the Gold Derby top 5 for editing, and it might get snubbed still. I'm not sure, or maybe it does get nominated and we're like, what? George Mckay is getting a ton of buzz and attention for his performance that will launch him to rising star status if he already wasn't there. Don't really expect him to get too much Best Actor hype. That race is just so crowded. But this will be great for his career going forward. I'm excited to see him in this film. The long takes in the Best Director category are like a match made in heaven. Can this movie win Best Director? It can. It can, folks. The only issue here is the competition is quite fierce. It is hard to see The Irishman winning Best Picture and them not giving it to Scorsese. It just feels like it's so Scorsese's movie, and the film itself works because of the context of the director's career, and it's just hard to see them not giving it to Scorsese. But if there's any movie that can take director while The Irishman wins Best Picture, it's probably 1917. I think that Sam Mendes is the biggest threat to Scorsese right now, because again, he has made the technical achievement of the year. Think Gravity. And then Picture, I have heard people say that this is the new frontrunner. And I have to say, it is probably the runner-up right now. The fact that it can win director and that it's winning at least 4 other Oscars really does make it a big threat to win Best Picture. The only issue is that The Irishman's incredibly strong. The film has an 86 on Metacritic at the moment. It's not as strong as The Irishman, but some people absolutely love the movie and think it's one of the best of the year. And then for some people, they're obviously a technical achievement, just didn't hit me in the way that it hit others. So I think that because it's being seen as the technical movie, it might be stronger in director and below the line categories. Can't put it over The Irishman, just can't put it over The Irishman. Reviews on these 2 films have just completely solidified a packed race, folks. We don't have wiggle room. Irishman, 1917, Marriage Story, Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Little Women, Ford v Ferrari, Joker, and then The Two Popes. I have moved Joker up because I think that it's just fucking happening, folks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Are you pro-war or pro-women?